He got a full direct
yourself,
look. I know
right?
damn well what that was doing. Hold up. Look down, so he has to look up at the body, right? Watch his eyes here. At his feet, at his calves, half a second, staring right at it. He knows damn well what he's doing. He's licking his lips too and everything. Small penis. Being short, ugly, fat, ugly, ugly, ugly. Those are some insecurities that some men have about themselves. So Jubilee made a video showing 10 men revealing their deepest, darkest insecurities. And as a fellow man, I have my own insecurities just like everyone else. So let's see what they said.
Why am I not building like enough muscle? Why don't I have like a six-pack? Why isn't my chest growing?
Every picture, every video, I could only look at the things I hated about myself or that I thought sucked.
I just gotta remind myself, like, 15-year-old me wanted to be here at one point. So I gotta be proud of that. But you look good, bro.
Appreciate you.
Every body is a social experiment that challenges participants to confront their relationship with their bodies, layer by layer. Through guided prompts, perception box questions, and voluntary undressing, we explore vulnerability and the personal narratives we attach to our physical form. By stripping away the layers we don't need, every body creates space to look inward and untangle the stories we've told ourselves about our bodies.
Take off your outer layer and look in the mirror.
Are you comfortable removing this layer?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead and do so.
Have you ever used clothes to hide your size, your shape, and your story? What were you trying to cover and why?
I think anyone who grew up kind of big can definitely say yes to this question. I don't know about the story part. I don't know what they mean by trying to hide my story, but not even people who are big, but I think most people, if not probably every kid, has done so. I think any big kid has done like the shirt pull thing, getting oversized shirts, whatever the case is, but I think most people are just trying to cover up their size because they're worried they might be made fun of for that or whatever.
Definitely. Especially when I was younger. I had a problem being really skinny. Didn't like it. Didn't like the shape of my arms. So I'd wear really baggy clothes to try to hide that.
That's interesting how baggy clothes works with like both ways in terms of like being big and skinny.
Even during summer, even if I was dying, sweating, I would still wear it. And I think even now sometimes, like when I bulk up, I wear baggier clothes just to hide my gut. So yeah. I still do it now.
If you could speak to the teenage version of yourself hiding in that sweatshirt that you had on, what would you say to him?
That's a cool question. I think I would kind of just tell him like take everything like day by day. Don't worry too much about the future.
That no one cares to
Or that
enjoy yourself, be free. Because honestly, at that point, you're a kid. Enjoy life. A lot of people think that I'm confident, but I really am not. I'm not super comfortable being on camera, taking pictures as well. I hate taking pictures.
He's
I don't
doing
feel like I'm
pretty
photogenic. So I think if I let that go, I think the confidence will start showing more.
If the rest of you feel comfortable and are ready to continue, you may remove this layer. If not, feel free to step out.
It's very interesting.
When he said when he was a kid and he was, super skinny, growing up I felt like just overly slim and not much, muscle on me. And I think that's something that a lot of, young boys growing up might see in themselves when they look in the mirror, which is normal. Oftentimes if we haven't gone through puberty or we're still going through puberty, we're not going to see, big muscles like we see on TV or something. And so that was definitely something I struggled with growing up.
Yeah, I mean, I could relate to what he said. Like, when you're bulking, if you really don't know how to, like, do it the right way, you can get kind of chubby and you might look a lot worse. So I think it's just more so about being gentle with yourself and, being happy with, all right, I did put on that weight.
Yeah, I mean, you're not a skinny guy anymore, man. You got some size on you, and it's commendable. I can tell, like,
Thank you.
put a lot of effort into that.
And I think the mindset, what you said of like, it comes from within. I think that is like super crucial. Like, and at the end of the day, like, no one cares about like. That's what I had to get over. Like, no one cares that much. I always stress about or think like people.
That's true. I think a lot of people do think people are like really watching you like that, when in reality, like, people are just worried about themselves. No one's really looking at you.
Are always looking at me, but in reality, like, everybody has their own things they're dealing with.
Yeah.
So like, once you learn that, you're like free.
That was it.
Out of all the negative self-talk you do, what are you most afraid is truth? I don't think I know it's true. I know I'm skinny. I've always pretty much been the same size my whole life. I never really want to take off my shirt, like going to the pool, because I was afraid of what other people were going to say. 10th grade year, we had a pool party for our high school, and All my friends, they play basketball, so they pretty much had the athletic body, and I was just the skinny kid that would tag along, bird-chested, as they
I still think I would rather always be skinny than be big, 100%.
would say. I can't lie, I was a little jealous, because it's like, I eat a lot. I can't even lie. I eat probably maybe 5 times a day, and the weight never goes anywhere. Seeing my friends have like the athletic body, and I just couldn't get it no matter how I tried. It was just a little jealous for me. I've been getting in the gym more, just trying to work on my body, work on myself, really. I know I don't have that much muscle, but I typically don't really care about it, because at the end of the day, I know I look good. Especially if I get a haircut, I feel like I'm the most handsome person in the world, but to each his own, though.
I need to get a cut, like soon.
Definitely with the pool. I had that problem too. When I go to the pool, I would always wear a shirt because I was too skinny and I didn't want to take off
Nah, I just need to show this, but how bad this is. Like, I need to get a cut. Yeah, like this is no bueno.
my shirt, right? And then I got the whole bird chest too. So I was like, damn, like, do I really got a bird chest? So I would always wear big clothes, even in the pool, never take it off. You're right though. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. You gotta love yourself because no one else will.
I really connected with the bird chest thing because I actually got in a fight in high school. This dude was like in the locker room saying you got a bird chest, like how you start football and basketball. And I didn't even know what bird chest meant. So I was like, bro, you got a bird chest. And then he swung on me, he punched me in the face. And then we started fighting and someone told me what it meant. And that's when I realized like, oh, he's just projecting because like I didn't care what I looked like. I'm 16, you know what I mean? I just wanted to like play sports and have fun and shit. So
Like the wrap clean face and a little nerve.
Do you feel comfortable removing this layer?
have fun and shit. So
Take off your shirt and look in the mirror.
Not gonna lie, I think I would do this. I don't think it's too crazy of an ask, especially realizing that there are always people like who just again do not care.
Do you feel comfortable removing this layer?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
I felt a little nervous, but I was happy that I followed through. We're all here for the same reason, and that is really like reassuring. As you face your bare chest, arms, and stomach, what's the first flaw your mind clings to?
My big old stomach is going down, but it's still here right now.
Well, the first thing that I see is like the rash that I have. It's like whole scarring on my chest. I have that because I have to take medication that I've been taking since I was like 6 years old. It's essential. Like I need it to maintain the little strength that I have. And because it's strong, it has pretty strong side effects. And one of the side effects is developing this skin irritation. This was super like insecure for me when I was, especially in high school. I remember in high school, I had some friends over to my house because I have a pool. But before they came over, I was like, oh, I don't know. I shouldn't take my shirt off. I should wear a shirt to cover it up. Even though they were my friends and I knew that they know everything about me and they don't care, I still had that negative thought in my head and that kind of like ruled over me. All these racing thoughts would be in my head, feeling that I was going to be judged for something that I can't control. I think that was the biggest thing.
I think this what sucks about getting made fun of or something like that. Like you have no control over it. I feel even worse because you can't change anything about it. It's just how it is.
That I can't control this and being judged for something that is out of my hands because then that makes me powerless. Growing up, I always get people looking at me, even to this day, like little kids and even older adults sometimes.
Oh my god, little kids. If you want to get humbled, see how a little kid looks at you. They do not hold back in the slightest.
In stores, they give me like weird looks in public. There were some times where I would be upset and I would cry and I'd be like, why am I like this? Why can't I do that? Why can't I play with other kids? Why do I look like this? Just having that support system of like my parents telling me, you know, you were made like this for a reason. You have so much things going for you. You're so smart. You're talented. And we have to feed like what we can do as opposed to what we can't.
You look at the things that make you you in a positive way. You don't focus on the negatives.
If the rest of you feel comfortable and you're ready to continue, you may also remove your shirts. If not, feel free to exit and go into the holding area.
I think it's,
Is he wearing two? What's going on there?
you know, really important what he said about improving himself in like the ways that he can control. Sometimes friendly banter and like, you know, boys being boys, you know, turns into, you know, harsher, you know, ridicule. Finding success in certain areas, whether it be,
But I think you nailed it. So important.
what is the one thing about your body you never want your partner or closest loved one to know you struggle with?
I don't think I have anything like that. I just recently found out that I kind of have a big nose. Just kind of threw me off. I don't know. I think it's on the bigger side.
I mean, my girlfriend knows, so it's like I just have like severe body dysmorphia, and you know, I thought that when I started competing in bodybuilding, it would kind of fix that. Because I'm like, oh, I could just make everything better. Like, that's what I'll focus everything on. But when you do progress, you just tend to only look at the things that you lack in. And I feel like it's almost made it even worse, because then it's like, you know, you're literally standing up there getting judged on your body against people who are doing the same, and you might think like everybody else looks better than you. And like, I know I got a problem with it because my first show I won, and I still just wasn't happy. Like, every picture, every video, I could only look at the things that I hated about myself or that I thought sucked.
Your body dysmorphia, if you're comfortable talking about it, where do you think that originated from?
Probably
Your
young,
childhood,
maybe
yeah.
like 8th grade. That's when I started lifting.
A lot of stuff like that just develops from like a childhood. Like it could be one like simple bully, maybe makes it worse, and then that just sticks with you as you grow up.
I was just a very gifted athlete growing up at a young age. The high school coaches were telling my dad, like, hey, he has a chance to either start or make varsity as a freshman. So he just made me start working out. So he looked up like Michael Jordan's trainers' workouts that he put him through. I remember like the first day he brought me to Rutgers University, the football stadium. You know, we had me running the
Sounds
stadium
familiar.
steps, and I just stopped at the top and started crying. I was like, I want to go home and play video games. I'm about to throw up. I just wanted to be like the biggest dude on the football field, or, you know, always trying to be like the most jacked dude on the basketball court. Though I enjoyed it, like training, dieting, you know, everything that comes with it, that it just created like a bigger hole that I just keep falling into, because like I feel like I'm never progressing or getting to where I want to be.
When you say body dysmorphia, can you describe for those who might not have experienced it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess right now, right, like I'm just looking at myself and I don't see anything that I'm like, oh, like nice, you know. I'm just looking at like, I wish my chest was bigger, you know, I wish my arms were bigger. When I have to like check in with my coach, I have to do pictures and videos, so I'll just, you know, I'll do like my poses and stuff, and I'll be like, damn, like you're not dry enough, not vascular enough. That's just.
It is crazy how this is a thing, because he has a good body, so it's like it is crazy how this exists.
Kind of like what I'd tell myself. My bodybuilding coach, I have to send him update pictures every Wednesday and Saturday. And recently, this is when I noticed I was like really like not good with this.
Take off your pants and look in the mirror.
Oh,
Do you feel comfortable removing this layer?
Yes.
how far?
All right, you may proceed.
Imagine pulling up with some like tight ass underwear.
Have your legs or any part of you ever made you feel unworthy, unattractive, or less than?
Unworthy is pretty crazy. That's a pretty crazy word. Any part of my legs? I don't know. I think I have pretty decent legs. Like, I think I have pretty decent calves. Like, you can kind of see the muscle right there. Well, there we go. Hold up. They're decent. You can see something there. Thighs are, I don't know. Pretty normal thighs. I don't think I have thunder thighs, but they're like, yeah. I think just like, they're just big nigga legs. I don't know. I wouldn't say unworthy though. That's a pretty crazy word anyways.
I would say yes. I feel like I have really skinny legs. So I feel like when I was in sports, I was like always wearing shorts. So I've just felt unattractive. People letting me know that I have chicken legs just made me feel, I guess,
I
not
guess maybe a little skinny.
as
I
good
don't
as
know.
the other players when I was playing sports. I was pretty chubby as a kid. So 7th grade, I was like, oh, like let me get into sports and, you know, help start losing weight. I was trying to get into flag football, and then one of the guys was like, oh, like you're so fat, like why the f- are you even trying? Like,
Okay, bro. I can't believe niggas like this actually exist. You're so fat, why would you try? Who genuinely says that? Even if it's high school, middle school, even middle school, what kid is saying that? Like high school, you gotta be so insecure to tell somebody you're so fat, why are you playing? And that's so mean too. Like,
you're not gonna be f***ing good, just get the fuck out.
get the out. That's actually so crazy. Wow.
And so I think that's where I was like, oh, shit, all right, I
Damn.
guess I won't do this. Them teasing me, I think, really put a strain on me. I like struggled with like my body image a lot towards then, just because I felt like I wasn't enough, or I wasn't good enough to be in sports.
Do you still hear that voice sometimes?
No, I don't. I go to the gym.
That's good.
I feel like that's like my escape. It makes me feel better. This past year, I did lose 40 pounds.
What was the hardest part about that journey?
Ooh. Trying to stick to a diet, in a sense that I would go days without eating, which is why I feel like I'm not like built like with muscle.
I want you to say 3 positive and kind and true things about yourself.
You have cool tattoos.
Hell yeah. What could I say about me? I think I'm nice. I think I have a good sense of humor. Can definitely bench more than Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. So I'd say those three 100%.
You're an inspiration,
Those are cool tats. though.
and
I like his earrings.
I'd say I'm proud of you for
I
losing
just peeped. Those are like nails. Holy.
40 pounds.
You want to say congratulations?
Thank you.
Bounce.
Thank you.
Task.
Yeah, I was gonna say good shit on that, but just like for your own sake, definitely don't create like a negative relationship
Right.
with food. You know,
Right,
It's
yeah.
like when you do something that drastic and you're not eating and stuff, like you're gonna look thinner and whatnot. But like you said, like you just lost muscle.
No, yeah.
So try and like just get that healthy relationship with it, and you look awesome. Like you already do look awesome.
For sure. Thank you.
I think even now, I struggle with eating. I gain weight so easily. So even though I know how to diet, sometimes I find myself skipping a meal or two because I'm just like, you know what? I went over my calories. I got to skip. But then I also remember as long as I portion my meals, I'll be fine. When I was younger, when I was skinny, that too, I would eat, never gained weight. And then once I like hit 21, I started gaining all the weight. And then I got really fat. So then that's how I started skipping meals once a day. Sometimes I wouldn't even eat for the whole day. So I definitely had to learn how to control that. And it's not easy. Definitely wasn't easy, but I got to that point where I learned how to diet. I tell people you got to eat 4 or 5 times a day, and they look at me like I'm crazy. But it's like as long as you portion your meals, you'll lose that weight. Because if you eat once a day, your body's gonna store all that. So I think that was like my biggest struggle, definitely.
If you feel comfortable to continue, you may remove your pants, and if not, then you can grab your things and head into holding.
I wouldn't blame anyone for. Oh, okay, never mind. That's a game I can't come up with.
Your pants, and if not, then you can grab your things and head into holding.
Oh, those are it's like shorts underwear.
If your body never changed from this moment forward, will you be able to accept it? Why or why not?
He's like ready to start dancing. What do you want to do?
Not at all.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Oh, not at all.
that's valid though. You know what? That's pretty valid because I still want to like. Actually, no, I could accept it. Yeah, actually, no, I could definitely accept it, but I'd still want like a jack. Like since I already bench 400 and I can squat 650, I'd still want to go above that into like a couple thousands and whatnot. But yeah, I think most people would say they can accept it, but they'd still want to look better.
Cause I've been up and down on the scale. You know what I mean? I've been bigger, I've been smaller, and I'm definitely not satisfied. That's why I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm not satisfied with the way I look, my size, anything like that. It's just really because I expect more from myself. Like right now, I'm probably walking around 195. I've been 230 before, you know what I mean? So, and I'm talking 3% body fat type. But yeah, I definitely have
What? 3%? That's possible?
a problem.
What part of your body feels the hardest to accept?
My back. I got a small back. Most people don't even think about it, you know what I mean? I grew up an athlete, so being strong and having muscles was the key, you know? And I spent the first 20 years of my life playing football. And that was one of the things where it showed, you know what I mean? But I naturally have a small back. So, you know, it ain't too much that I could do, you know? But I do hate that I could see through my underpits, my armpits. I really can't. But to me, you feel me? I want that Brock Lesnar. When I was in high school, you know, like I said, I trained 20 years of my life just to go to the NFL.
That's pretty
and
crazy.
It didn't happen, right? But one of those things that hit me was in a newspaper back home where I'm from. My coach put in a newspaper that I had a small frame, and it fucked up my whole recruiting.
That's a weird thing to say. That guy was not looking out in his best interest. Because why would you say that? Especially if you're trying to help the boy out. Who says that?
From then on, everybody saw it. I used to go to women's houses. They'd be like, "Oh my God, that's him in the newspaper." Woody woo.
Nah. What? How small is this town?
Little do they know, that next column over, I got my coach talking down on me. For an athlete, that's huge.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Do you still think about that today?
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Because he pointed out something that I didn't know about myself. You know what I mean? You know, it's the reason why I'm here and not on that field right now.
What would it take for you to let go of that?
I can't let go of that.
Okay, I mean, you definitely can. I think things like that can definitely stick with people, but you can let go of that. It's just I think it takes time. Obviously, number one, maybe I don't know how old this guy is, but maybe it hasn't been that long since that happened. But also just like, and this is kind of a crazy answer, but just doing more with your life, kind of like distracting yourself from things that would remind you of your past. Because something like this, like I guess I can't speak on him because it maybe affected him more than I think, but you kind of have to move on, which is such a simple answer, but like it's true. Obviously, the effects of it, maybe it hurting this guy's chances of going to the league or whatnot aren't gonna go away, but the actual wording, it depends like what he's still thinking about. If it's just what the coach said and not about the effect it had, then I think you can get over that. But if it's the consequences of what the coach said, then fair enough. But even then, like, time is gonna move on, life is gonna move on, and it's not gonna wait for you, so you might as well just go on with it. I don't even think that's too harsh of a thing to say because it is true. Like, it's just how life is.
I can't let go of that. I don't care if my back get bigger. You feel me? The fact that he pointed it out to the world like that, nah, bro.
Fair enough, yeah.
That's not cool.
I relate with you the most, bro. Like, I did make the NFL, and I got cut super quick, and I feel like I was depressed. I'm 31 now. I was probably depressed. I got cut at 23. I was depressed till I was 28, bro. And like, you feel like you lose your identity when that shit gets taken away from you, but you don't have a small frame. You're tall, you're built, you're cut. So like, that's something that is, it's out of our hands, right? Like, you didn't go on the paper and write that shit about yourself. He did. I didn't go out and cut myself. I was doing well. I got cut. Some dude that probably never even played football cut me. Some nerd ass scout.
Type shit.
Pardon my language, but like, you hold on to that stuff.
That's crazy,
and
bro.
you
That's
just
crazy.
can't, because you lose your identity. But just because they said some shit, that's not your truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like you're definitely a confident dude. So don't let any of that shit like keep dwelling on you or not allow you to push forward or keep you from going to get that frame that you want. You know what I'm saying? Because you could definitely get your back big.
I want to dive a little bit into how that felt for you getting cut.
I mean, that was like my only dream in life since 5th grade. Getting cut, my agent said it was politics. I let it completely take my identity as a human being. I didn't go to the gym. I stopped doing cardio. I was eating like sporadically. I started to drink a little bit, which was not in my routine at all. Yeah, that was definitely by far like the darkest time of my entire life because it was just,
He was good for
not
31.
many people have a dream to begin with, and then when you actually achieve it and it's gone, you're just like, shit. Like, it literally felt like I was a zombie for like years. You just kind of wake up, do the same thing.
The laugh is kind of crazy. What was
go
the
to
laugh?
sleep, wake up, you feel like nothing even happened the day before, so everything was just like a dark blur.
Yeah.
And bodybuilding didn't help that.
No, I mean, bodybuilding kind of like is what resurrected my life. It gave me meaning to compete again. For me personally, I just have to compete.
Yeah.
I need a reason to be healthy as possible, and now it goes hand in hand with my job because I'm also a bodyguard, so it's like I can't not be big. But yeah, bodybuilding definitely gave me that. But like, he knows, like, when you play football, bro, it's like nothing else in the world that could like give you that feeling. So
It's
Soccer.
like going on the field with your brothers. That feeling, ain't nothing like it. I miss those days, A lot of my good memories come from the field and with my teammates. So that's why, it hurts so much when that thing gets stripped from me.
If you could go back to the young man you were in college
Yes.
and talk to him, what would you say to him?
It was crazy, but I would definitely tell myself, don't drop out and never conform, stay unique, be you. You know what I mean? That's
Oh,
why
it was a
people
college
like you,
town,
because of
okay.
who you are. You know what I mean? Not because, you're good at football, you know what I mean? I never got that call, but because they genuinely like you for you. You know what I mean?
I feel like you kind of just hit a point where it's like, man, like, I really let somebody else, something out of my control, ruin my life. Like, I have the rest of my life to do something else, even though that was the one dream I had from my childhood.
Yeah, I think this dude has a point, and it is literally just time. Time heals all. Like, especially if it's something that big or it's your dream and you didn't want anything else but that. It sucks, but all you can do is just like wait and let time do its thing.
I would just say, like, now that I am finally past that in my life and I'm at peace with it,
Right.
once you find a way to do the same, bro, you're just gonna flourish and find something else to just
Yep.
kill that in life. So
Hey, man.
I
Appreciate
wish
that.
you well with that.
Take off your underwear.
Yeah, we're framing all right.
Sure, that I'm on. I'm right where I need to be, where I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean?
All right, so all the women are going to exit except for me. We're framing out everything, so all the cameras are belly button up, okay?
No way. Oh, they're
take
gonna.
off your underwear and look in the mirror.
Now, before you do that, are you
Oh.
comfortable removing this layer?
Yeah.
You may proceed.
No way. Oh. Oh shit.
This part of your body has been measured, ridiculed, glorified, and hidden. How do you truly feel about your body when no one's watching?
I think I feel pretty good. I don't even know how to answer this. I feel decent.
I truly feel pretty
This is-
confident.
This is
And
a scary thing to do. I'm not gonna lie. If I ever do this, especially take my underwear off, I have to be semi. I just have to be semi. There's no way I can do this shit soft. If I don't have a semi, I swear to God, before I'm taking my underwear off, I'm thinking, okay, anything, and then doing it. And that room looks cold too, by the way. So I know damn well it's gonna be smaller than normal. Even when he's at full attention, I don't care. There's just no way I can do it. I can't do it soft. It just has to be somewhat there.
in my body at this point in my life, and I can't say it's always been like that. It took a lot of hard work and dedication to kind of build up this confidence within myself. Yeah, I know I'm not all the way to where I'm gonna build up
The
this
dude looking up so he doesn't.
confidence. Yeah, I know
He's like, don't look at the penis. Don't look at the penis. Don't look at the penis.
I'm not all the way to where I want to be, and I'm also comfortable
Nah, but he's bold for doing this, so I can't lie. That's actually crazy.
knowing that I probably, really will never get there,
Nobody making eye contact.
because I've kind of learned that it's all in the process of the
These dudes are doing anything but looking at this guy, bro. Oh my god. He's over there talking about, hey, what camera y'all using? They're both trying so hard not to look. They're just worried about the equipment. He's looking at the lighting. He's looking at the camera, wondering how much it costs.
improvement, that you can kind of look back on progress that you've made.
I wonder how much that microphone costs.
Do you think being teased for your appearance early on in your life shaped how you see yourself
Of course,
today?
most people are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got teased for all sorts of reasons. I mean, I grew up in a small town, and I was always 2 heads taller than everybody else. They're calling you a big ugly freak, or I thought my
cannot
skin
stop
was
looking
super
up.
pale. I got called a ghost. People called me a ginger and told me I had no soul. Yeah, that stuff
Oh,
just
yeah,
really
that-
got to me. Like,
That is a
as-
thing, yeah.
as I was probably starting to go through puberty at the time.
So
And
they do?
that stage of your life, I don't think anybody really wants to be outstanding in those ways. You kind of just want to fit in with the crowd. I've really grown to enjoy who I am, just, for my unique characteristics, whether it's my pale skin or my orange beard, or, being taller than a lot of people in the room. They used to be things that I hated, and, because I got bullied for those things, and now it's, I'm just happy to be who I am, and that I'm not, anybody else but me.
If you had to say one thing out loud right now that you've never admitted about your penis, what would it be?
Jeez.
It curves pretty hard to the left. It is something that I do, find to be like an imperfection. Although I don't spend a lot of time, rock hard with the lights on, everybody measuring the curvature. It's all about the motion
I
of the
do.
ocean, It doesn't always matter how much you're packing, but, how you treat that person that you're with intimately.
How much of your sense of worth or masculinity is tied to this part of your body?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I get naked and stripped down in front of guys in the locker room at the gym, 5-6 nights out of the week. So, I'm pretty comfortable
Damn.
when I go to the gym. And I know everybody's just, trying to better themselves as a man. And that's what we're doing, having these discussions.
If the rest of you feel ready and
Oh, this is
comfortable
crazy.
to continue, you may remove this layer. If not, feel free to put on your clothes and head into
I
holding.
feel like they are gonna do it. Oh no, never mind. Damn. Oh, they're all not doing it. They just left him to do it? Damn.
All right.
He's looking around like, wait, I'm the only one that has to do it?
It was interesting. I thought, more of the gentlemen here with me were gonna,
Yeah.
participate in full nudity and get real, and, have more of a open dialogue with all of them. Our genitals are, what make us, unique, but also kind of tie us together as men. And so I thought we'd have more of a, a deeper conversation on that level.
All right. So it's just the two of you left.
Oh no, he did it too. Okay.
What was your name
They have to look each other in the eye.
again?
Danny, bro.
Danny George.
Nice to meet you, George. I'm comfortable being naked. I'm not ashamed of anything. So
What was that like for you?
suffering. I definitely relate to like feeling not man enough, I guess, right? When I look at myself and I'm naked and I think to myself like, damn, like, I wish this was bigger. I wish that was bigger. I'm a grower, right? So I wish I was bigger when I was softer.
Who cares how big you are when you're soft? It's all about when you're hard. That's crazy. But like, why does it matter how big it is when it's soft?
But end of the day, bro, like, I just figured I got so comfortable to a point where it don't really matter, honestly. It truly doesn't matter. Like, here I am butt naked.
Yeah.
You two, it's just you and I. Might be a little awkward, but end of the day, bro, it's like, if you don't love yourself, then you're gonna limit yourself, right? I have a tattoo right here. It says,
He got
then
a full
limit
direct
yourself,
look. I know
right?
damn well what that nigga was doing. Hold up. Look down, so he has to look up at the body, right? Watch his eyes here. At his feet, at his calves, half a second, staring right at it. He knows damn well what he's doing. He's licking his lips too and everything.
I have a tattoo right here. It says, fear ruins life. It really does. It limits you so much, and there's so many opportunities you're missing, or
Oh, there's better
people that you can miss, new adventures you can miss, right?
Yeah, man.
So it's all about overcoming that fear.
I agree, man. Fear none but God.
If someone who loves you saw you standing here naked, what would they say to you?
They would say, "Hell yeah, George, you know, you're a stunning young man, and you know, you exude confidence, and you're beautiful just how you are, and I'm
That's
proud of you."
amazing, man.
And can you turn around and look at yourself in the mirror again? Say all those things again, but I want you to just say them to yourself.
George, I am proud of you. You exude confidence. You're a stunning young man, and you're a pleasure to be around, and you're on the right track. Your chest and your arms are growing. Your abs look tight, and your beautiful orange beard is glowing.
That's great.
How much of your sense of worth or masculinity is tied
Not the boom in the shot.
to your penis?
For me, not much. Especially with social media nowadays, you're so conditioned to think the bigger your penis is, the more of a man you are. But honestly, it don't matter. You can be 3 inches, you can be 12 inches. End of the day, your value and your honor and your word is what makes you a man, not your penis size.
Pinpoint 3 physical attributes on your body and give yourself compliments.
He has a good beard.
You definitely have
Good eyebrows,
pretty
too.
nice triceps, right? Decent sized arms. You got a big jaw. Definitely have a nice jaw. And you have a nice chest. Nice full chest.
If someone you love, someone who loves you, was staring at you right now, what would they say to you?
I'm proud of you. No matter what, you've always overcame any obstacle that's thrown at
This is a
you.
nice video.
You don't let much hold you back, and you look amazing. You worked hard for it. You're an amazing person.
I wanted to come today because I thought this is super important. You know, not a lot of men really get vulnerable and talk about how they feel with their bodies.
You know, you come into something like this, and as a trainer, I coach a lot of people, so I'm always telling people what they should do or how to make them feel better. But the most shocking thing was how much it was the exact opposite. Like, I found myself relating to everyone and how we all related to each other, and you know how much of a healing experience it was.
I feel like a lot of people need to hear this and just hear how other people's struggles have been treating them and how they can overcome their struggles as well.
And what belief about your body or just yourself are you ready to let go of?
Just in general, that I guess I'm overweight or fat. I'm holding on to the past, and I just need to let that go.
But yeah, that was a video. 10 men reveal their biggest insecurities. That was a nice video to watch. I liked how all the guys were pretty vulnerable with themselves. They were pretty honest. I was kind of surprised they all didn't stay for the taking off, you know, the underwear part. Not that I care, not that it matters, but taking off like the underwear part. But 2 of them still stayed. They, you know, like, Jubilee got their nice clip for the guy that stayed, for the people that stayed. But yeah, I think this is going up on Monday, so I missed the day already. But still in that 1-2 week grind. I think I tried talking a bit more in this video, but I'm still in the process of learning how to talk more when I'm doing these like reaction type of videos. But it was fun. Yeah, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, let me know what your biggest insecurity is in the comments. And yeah, till the next video.